Today we are going to look at the final research project. Now that we've done all this practice with reading and writing, it's time to tie it together. So the project you will be doing is research and the creation of a PowerPoint presentation on one of these creatures. There's 10 options here, and you're welcome to choose any that you choose, but it must be one on the list. So your research and your presentation must include the following elements. You must have the animal's name. What does it mean? Sometimes this will tell you something important or interesting. For example, platypus means flat-footed. What's your animal's scientific name? Okay. Second thing is the anatomy and appearance. What does it look like? How big is it? What shape is the body? Does it weigh? Does it have horns, antler, furs, etc.? Describe the teeth, have its body parts. Does it molt? Does it grow? And you should include pictures as well. Locomotion. Can your animal move? If so, how does it move? Is it slow? Is it fast? Is this important to its survival? For example, fast-moving animals are fast so they can catch dinner or avoid becoming dinner. Diet. What does your animal eat? Is it carnivore or an omnivore or herbivore? Is there anything interesting or unusual about the way it eats? Habitat and range. Where does it live? Adaptations. What are the obvious adaptations of your animal? For example, the giraffe's neck is an adaptation for obtaining leaves high off the ground. As you can see, as I'm going through these requirements, I'm not reading them all specifically. Do make sure when you begin that you do read them specifically and clearly. Life cycle and reproductions. How does it have babies? When? How many? All of that sort of thing. Behavior, interesting behavior features. Is it a herd animal or a solitary? Does it burrow? Defense, offense, and enemies. Defense is how it protects itself. Offense is how it fights others. Species survival status. Is this animal in danger of extinction? If so, why? And then something special about it. Alright, so the first thing you're going to do is choose your animal. Then you're going to do some research. Organizing your research is absolutely necessary. I have included a research outline that looks like this. It has all of the elements that you need. You're welcome to use this, or you're welcome to organize in another way that's more effective for yourself. Either way, make sure that you're organizing and writing out your information. Chart form is another option. You would, of course, have to create your own chart. This is important. Your notes can be taken word for word from other sources, but your paragraphs have to be in your own words, which means you understand everything you've written. So if you're using a word you're not sure of, be sure to look it up and understand what it means before you use it. The other thing you need to do is keep track of your sources of information. Most likely this is going to be websites, so keep a separate list of all the websites you use to get your information, including your pictures. And you're going to proofread, edit, and type, and then you're going to create a PowerPoint. Let me show you an example of a PowerPoint that I created. So what I did was I followed these steps, I completed the organizer, and then I created this PowerPoint. The Sunda-Kaluga. The Sunda-Kaluga is a species of flying lemur. It's also known as the Malayan flying lemur. Its scientific name is Galeopteris variegatus. Anatomy and appearance. The Sunda-Kaluga is quite small. The adult ranges from 34 to 38 centimeters and weighs 2 to 3 pounds. The lemur has some similarities in shape to a squirrel, although it is larger. It has long webbed pieces of skin from its neck to its front and rear paws to the fingers and toes that allow it to glide on the wind. It has a small head with round ears and very large eyes for the size of its body. They have medium-length arms, legs, and tails. The Sunda-Kaluga is generally a shade of brown, but the patterns on the fur may vary. The lemur has special comb-like teeth for chewing. The Sunda-Kaluga has a very interesting and unique look. And there he is. Locomotion. The Sunda-Kaluga is fantastic in the air, but not very useful on the ground. It uses its gliding membranes to sail from treetop to treetop. It can glide up to 70 meters. When they glide, the longer they glide, the softer the landing. While this fellow spends his time in treetops, it's not actually very good at climbing. It's because he can't hold on to tree branches. Instead, it sort of hops slowly and clumsily to the treetops where it can glide. You're just as likely to see one of these animals hanging upside down under a branch or sitting on top of it. Diet: the Sundacaluga is an herbivore. It eats plants. It prefers leaves high in something called tannin. It will also eat buds, shoots, coconut flower, durian flowers, fruits, and sap. For water, the Sundacaluga licks the bark of some types of trees. It is not a very picky eater, and living in the rainforest, it has many options of plants to eat. And there he is, licking the bark. Habitat and range: the Sundacaluga lives in the rainforests of Southeast Asia, Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, Brunei, Indonesia, and other islands in the area. There's a map showing where in the world you can find this creature. Adaptations: the Sundacaluga is adapted for life in the forest canopy. Its gliding membrane helps it thrive in this environment, sailing from treetop to treetop. It has large eyes adapted to see well at night, which is useful because it's primarily active at night. Its teeth have adapted for its special diet of plant life. The comb-like shape allows them to tear and grind leaves, shoots, buds, and fruit. Behavior: the Sundacaluga is a nocturnal animal. It is active at night. They tend to be solitary, except for mothers with babies. Not much is known because they are shy, nocturnal, solitary, and protected. All of these factors together make it difficult to study. Life cycle and reproduction: the Sundacaluga is a mammal, so it gives birth to a live baby. The baby's very small, about 1.2 ounces, and it spends the first 6 months clinging to its mother's stomach. The mother uses her tail to keep the baby safe while it's there. It will take 2 to 3 years for the baby to be full grown. There's a mother with a baby. Defense, offense, and enemies: the Sundacaluga's greatest defense is in being the forest canopy. Animals that would be a threat to it are far below on the forest floor. It is also hunted by the Philippine eagle. This is interesting because the eagle manages to find it while it's hiding and sleeping during the day. It is also not a threat to other animals. It eats plant life and is not a danger to its fellow forest top dwellers unless you are a plant, that is. Species survival status: the species is vulnerable because of the destruction of rainforests. There's not a lot of concern, but it is vulnerable. Something special. So here I've chosen to include a video for my something special. I won't show the whole video because it doesn't fit on the screen properly, but you get the point. So that is what is expected. Here I have included references. You can see my references are formatted very specifically. All I need from you is to have the exact websites that you're using. So for example, this would be a website, and these are for photos as well as information. So that is all there is to the research project.